Hello, Geminis, and welcome to this, your August 2024 reading and predictions. Let's dive right in. Where are we going first? Get called over here. Okay, so we are going to look at where you are at now here at the end of July as I conduct this reading for you. We are going to look at what you are focusing on, what you're looking at manifesting. We're going to look at your difficult influences and challenges. And we are going to take a peek at what is unexpected for you. We're also going to have some messages that the universe wants you to hear at this time, and we're diving right in. Okay, it looks like you've come through a similar rough July as many of us have. July has just been insane for so many of the zodiac signs. So there is something, you've got the Four of Swords here. The Four of Swords is the postponement card. It is about putting something on hold. The Four of Swords is also a card that I sometimes refer to as the little hermit or the quiet hermit. It is about going within, withdrawing from society temporarily, putting things on hold or postponing things until we have an opportunity to get more clarity on exactly where it is we want to go. So it does look like, Gemini, as you move out of July and into August, you are taking this opportunity to postpone a few things from the insanity and from the roller coaster ride that July was for so many people. And you're pulling back and you are taking the time to go within and really narrow down exactly what it is that you want to accomplish. The next card that we have is the Six of Rainbows, also corresponding to the Six of Pentacles. This is the the compromise card. And this is a card that I also like to call the karma card. This is the card of you get what you give. If you can afford to give a little bit extra, then please be generous. And if you're in a place of need, don't be afraid to ask. This is a card of really beginning to find that balance, particularly pertaining to money and finances, and coming to the realization that in order for us to have abundance in our lives, there has to be a balance. It can't just be about take, take, take. And that's where the practice of gratitude really comes into play here for you, Gemini. That when you practice gratitude for what you already have, you bring more in. If you are in a place of constantly need, take, 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 then for lack of a better way of looking at it, what happens, Gemini, is that if you are take, 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 need, the universe eventually goes, yeah, okay, well, we'll give you more lack because clearly your mindset or mind frame is all about take, take, take. Okay. So this card is about finding that balance. It's about karma. It's about you get what you give. So it does look like you are finding a little bit more balance with regards to your finances. Or what I'm picking up, Gemini, is that for some of you, you are learning this lesson deeply right now that if you live in a place of lack, the universe actually gives you more lack. If you live in a place of gratitude for what you already have, even if in your own mind, Gemini, you're going, oh, I have to eat rice and beans again for dinner. Oh, here I go eating pasta again for dinner. I would much rather be out having a steak like I used to, but times are tough. Even if you're in that position right now, well, we're going through this huge inflationary explosion, Gemini, you still have food. So be grateful for that. You know, be grateful for everything that you do have, even if it's not what you want. Remember, to a certain degree, when we start looking at pentacles, we are also looking at our wants versus our needs and working towards finding the balance between our wants and our needs. And that can come up when we have the Six of Pentacles coming out as well, when we have that compromise card. So it looks like as you move out of July, out of this roller coaster and into August, you are doing this important work with regards to money and finances and learning these important lessons. That moves us into the Empress, or the creativity card, as it's called from this particular deck. This is about coming up with a brand new idea, a brand new innovation, something creative, and getting ready to birth that out into the world. Now, this may have come up, this creativity, this Empress card may have come up as a direct result of the tumultuous July, and as a result of the karma card coming in, as a result of the card of we need to balance our wants versus our needs. And if we want more, sometimes we have to come up with new ideas and put new ideas out there into the world in order to be able to earn money in a different way. So it looks like you're moving into that as we go into August. So where are we going? I'm getting called here. We're going to take a look at what you are focusing on, where you are putting your attentions. We know that what we put our attentions on, we eventually manifest because our thoughts become our realities. That one did not go on the floor, thank goodness. Okay, so what have we got going on? We have two cards that have leapt out of the deck for us. Both of them are major arcanas, which means, Gemini, you do have some very powerful energies moving around you as we're moving into August and what you are focusing on. The first card that we have is the card number 13 from the major arcana. This card corresponds to the death card. Now, in some decks, the death card is called Death and Rebirth. In some decks, for example, in the Osho Zen deck, the death card is actually called the Transformation card. If you are interested, Gemini, in any of the decks that I use in the reading today, check out the affiliate links down below if you're interested in ordering any of them. Anyway, this card corresponds to the death card. And the death card is about transformation. The death card is about letting go of something from our past so that we can move into something new. It's not necessarily about the literal cycle of life. We're not talking about physical death of the skin and bones that we are at the moment. Don't forget, we are all spirits having a human experience. So we're not talking about literal death of the human form. What we are talking about here is the death of an old belief system, for example, the death of the way that we used to do things. So, for example, let's take, for example, a very strong belief system that our culture has, and it is shifting on a more global scale. But for example, 50 years ago, if you were a Christian, you were expected to go to church on Sunday morning. If you were Jewish, for example, you were expected to attend synagogue. Muslims, for example, are expected to pray several times a day and so on. So but in the last 50 or 60 years, there has been a shift and a move away from not so much the belief system of, the basis of the belief system of either Christianity or Judaism or Muslim or any of the other religions that are out there. But there's been a shift away from the belief that the only way that you can worship is if you go to church on Sunday morning, for example, or to your place of worship. And I'm not being critical of any of these different situations. What I am pointing out is that with this death card, we are allowing some of the very strict aspects of the belief system to fall by the wayside, which gives us a little bit more freedom to worship in a different way. So that's the type of thing that the death card represents, is this change or this shift in beliefs wherein we're not talking about a literal death. We're talking about a shift or a transformation, as it's called, like I said, in the Osho Zen Tarot. So it does look like this is what you are focusing on, Gemini. This is what you are looking to manifest, is a very big transformation in your life in the month of August. You also have the Hermit. Now, remember, going back over here, moving out of July and into August. So the last week of July, first week of August, you had this postponement card, the Four of Swords, which, if you remember correctly, I called the Little Hermit or the Quiet Hermit card. And now coming out in your focus, you have the actual Hermit card coming out. The actual Hermit card is from the Major Arcana, and it is about withdrawing from society for a period of time for the purposes of meditation, self reflection, healing, and transformation. So, looks like big changes are coming up for you, Gemini, in the month of August. Truly exciting. Let's take a dive into what is coming up in your difficult influences and challenges. All right, so this deck is kicking out way too many cards. So what we're going to do is we are going to collect up all of the cards, including the one that I just threw on the floor. And we're going to mix up the smaller portion of the deck and see if we can narrow down and clarify your difficult influences and challenges, Gemini. All right, mix them up. That one wants to come out. Anything else want to come out for difficult influences and challenges for Gemini? How many more times should we go through? All right. 3 more times? There we go. 1. Anything else? 2, 3. There was one more in there. Okay. In your difficult influences and challenges, you have the Magician and you have the Queen of Wands. Okay, Gemini, you are the second zodiac sign this month to have this combination. The Magician and the Queen of Wands come out. The other zodiac sign that had this combination come out was Cancer. And in Cancer's reading, they had this combination, the Magician and the Queen of Wands, come out in what they were focusing on. Now, you are clearly focusing upon making a huge transformation in your life, letting go of some old belief systems, rebirthing yourself into something new. Here's the problem. This is what's standing in your way. What's standing in your way is your belief in yourself and your ability to be able to manifest something new and magical and creative into your future, which is indicated right here that that's what you would like to do, is manifest some new creativity and a new endeavor out into the world. But the Magician coming in your difficult influences is indicating perhaps that belief in self is not 100% there right now. The belief that you are magical and you have the ability and capacity to be able to manifest that which you desire, Gemini. I'm going to repeat that again. Gemini, you have the ability and the capacity to be your own magician and to manifest that which you desire into your life. But you have to believe in yourself. Now, you also have the Queen of Wands coming in right next to the Magician here. And the Queen of Wands is the Queen of Action. She is the Queen of Fire. She is the Queen of, I know what I want and I'm going to go out after it and I'm going to get it. However, if you have this in your difficult influences, what this is saying is that you're hesitant to take those initial steps forward. You're hesitant to be taking action at this time. So watch for a little bit of complacency and fear to be coming up with regards to your new creative endeavor and the changes that you're making within yourself. Okay, Gemini? It's not to say that you can't be your own magician in the month of August. What this is saying by coming up in your difficult influences and challenges is that it's getting in your way. Is it insurmountable? No, absolutely not. One of the reasons that we listen to tarot readers, one of the reasons that we go to see psychics is so that we know what's coming at us and we have the ability to mentally and psychologically prepare for that which the universe is throwing at us. When the universe throws us a curveball, if we know it's coming, we can kind of prepare ourselves a little bit for it. That's essentially what this reading is doing for you, Gemini. For those of you who are not aware, I am also a certified counselor and certified hypnotherapist with more than 20 years experience. So if you are interested in delving deeper by way of a deeper personalized reading, or if you are interested in a counseling or hypnotherapy session, I will leave my contact details down below in the description. Okay, Gemini, we are going to dive into messages from the universe. What messages does the universe have for? Oh my goodness. Gemini, I can tell you that this deck has been kicking out crazy amounts of messages for all of the zodiac signs so far. And in your case, it's kicked out one. And I know exactly why, because it's such an important message in the context of this reading for you. This is the one and only message the universe wants you to hear for the month of August. Set your intentions. If you want to be able to get this project, a new creative endeavor, out into the world, if you want to be able to rebirth yourself and reinvent yourself, if you want to be the magician and the Queen of Wands, there's only one way to go about doing it. Set your intentions and then use the energy of the Queen of Wands to get your idea out into the world. Let's take a look at what's coming up for you in your unexpected. Now, let's see whether the fairies are going to behave or whether they are going to kick out just a whole whack of cards again. They do want to land on the floor, though. I've managed to stop two of them so far. Yeah, we've got a few cards coming out. Is there anything else coming out for Gemini? Okay. All right, let's take a look. We have the Three of Winter coming out for you in the unexpected. The Three of Winter is a card of needing to heal your heart. Typically in the tarot, the Three of Winter, also known as the Three of Swords, appears with the shape or form of a heart with some swords put through it. And so it's not necessarily a very aesthetically pleasing card with regards to the graphics that are on it. But the meaning behind the card is that you need to heal something that is pulling on your heartstrings. There is an emotional aspect to what you are currently going through. And when you have the ability to heal that, you will have the ability to be able to move forward. Next in your unexpected, you have the Four of Winter. This card corresponds to the Four of Swords. These two have the exact same meaning. This is about the little hermit withdrawing from society temporarily, pulling back and taking time for self, for meditation, for self-reflection, for learning, for transformation of self. Okay. So Gemini, you have three cards all representing it is time for you to withdraw and go within and do that important inner work. You have the Two of Summer. This corresponds to the Two of Cups coming in your unexpected. This is an indication that there may be a new partnership coming up for you unexpectedly in August. Now, this may be a romantic connection, but it's not the Lover's card. In the tarot, we of course have the Lover's card. This instead is the Two of Cups, Two of Summer in the case of the fairy deck. And this is a card of partnerships, not necessarily lovers or romantic partnerships. So this card may also indicate that there is a new partnership, be that a business partnership, which is possible with this creativity card coming in. If you're trying to birth a new idea out into the world, perhaps you are seeking a partner or someone else who can assist you in that regard. But I would recommend definitely tapping into and listening deeply to these three hermit-ish cards coming in, that before you enter into any kind of agreement or partnership, that you really, really tap into yourself and make sure that you've healed some big lessons within yourself. So with the Two of Summer, it could be a romantic partnership, it could be a business partnership, it could be a new friendship that just helps to support you, and it could be a mentor that is coming in for you, Gemini. Just going to tap into your energy a little bit more deeply. Okay, so I'm picking up that for the vast majority of the Geminis, this card in your unexpected is about a business partnership or a mentor type partnership. Something that is not on the romantic side at all, but more on the down to earth type partnership side of things. And the final card that you have in your unexpected is the Moon card. The Moon card has a couple of different meanings here. The Moon card is asking you to pay attention to your dreams at this time and pay attention to your intuition. What is the best way to access your intuition, Gemini? Well, of course, hermit work, meditation, withdrawing from the screens, withdrawing from society, going within, doing the inner work. So pay attention to your dreams, your intuition, your whatever's coming up for you in your quiet moments. And the other message behind the Moon card for you is for you to pay attention to the cycles and the phases. Now, this is really important because when the Death card comes up, and we're looking to rebirth ourselves. Many of us have done this kind of work numerous times in the past. We've reinvented ourselves and then put ourselves out into the world. But some of us have patterns. The moon has a pattern, the moon has a cycle or a phase. And so you're being called upon at this time in your unexpected during the month of August, Gemini, to pay attention to the cycles that may be coming up. Is there something that you're repeating? So we'll leave that there. And we're going to look at your final general overall outcome. Final general overall outcome for Gemini. Oh, don't fall on the floor. Thank you. I already had to pick one up. Final general overall Gemini. Final general overall outcome. You have the Ace of Wands. Now remember, the Queen of Wands is about getting out there and taking some action because she is the Queen of Fire. The Ace of Wands is the Ace of Fire. This is about getting your new idea out there. This is about taking action on this. Okay. The beginning of a new enterprise. And is your new enterprise going to be successful, Gemini? Well, there are 3 cards in the deck that are considered the happy cards in tarot. And in this order, It's the Sun, the Star, and the Ten of Cups. Those are the three happiest cards in the deck. You tell me whether your new endeavor is going to be successful. It's the happiest card in the deck, Gemini. Thank you so much for being here. I look forward to having the opportunity to do your September reading. Please like and subscribe.